everybody. Welcome to Wine Library TV.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk, and it is a wonderful Tuesday in the month of January, year 2007. We have 4 lovely guests today on the show from the Brunello family. We're going to attack that, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Some serious wines. They've all been open for about 3 hours, so they've been breathing tremendously. We're excited about attacking them. They've all got huge scores, huge pedigree, and a legendary status to Brunello wines. So I know a lot of people are going to be excited about this episode. A lot of people have been asking for Brunello. So I'm back from the left coast. Very different world, LA, than New York. It was a lot of fun. We got some things accomplished, and it's good to be back home. Humongous. I mean, the biggest announcement in Wine Library TV history tomorrow. Look for that. And it has to do with Friday. So clear your schedule with Friday. Other than that, not too much. Tasting one new glass today. It's the Mark Phillips glass. Mark sent this over to me. I'm going to try it out. I actually tasted during a business tasting a week ago with this glass, and I loved it, so I'm going to taste it and use that today. Other than that, nothing really, just another day at the office. I'm going to do what we do here, and that's taste some vino, so let's get right into it. Il Pogione, 1999, Reserva, Brunello, 95 points Wine Spectator, $64 US. Let's give this a little pour. Sorry, Hillbilly Jim. Anyway, let's talk about Brunello a little bit. A lot of people don't realize, but Brunello, which is in Tuscany, the wines are 100% Sangiovese Grosso. So that's extremely important. Also, lots of rules. These wines, and they just changed the rules. Prior to very recently, you had to have the wine it was not able to be released until 4 years after harvest. They've moved back to 3, and it has to be in barrel for at least 2 years. So 3 years after harvest. So an enormous financial, stranglehold on the people that produce these wines because they can't release to market. And so that's a huge impact on the pricing, but also on the quality of these wines. I mean, they're huge quality wines. Everybody knows Brunello's. All 4 of these wines are scored 95 points and above by the press. Again, 95 points Wine Spectator, $64, 2,500 cases produced of this wine. Great color. Now, Brunello, within the Tuscan dialect, means the little brown one. And that really what that means is it's got some brown hues around the colors of the grape. So you're always noticing in the wines, and it's going to be a little bit tough to come through, but hopefully you can get it. There's a little brownish element to the outer edges of Brunello very often. Now, Brunello's changing a lot. In the last 5 years, it's become much more modern, new world from a very old world place, and there's a lot of backlash with that. And so it's really been interesting to see what's happened over the last 60 months. You still have your very traditional winemakers, but you definitely have a new wave fruit bomb era coming in. These wines tend to be very high in acidity and are usually medium to full-bodied wines, very complex, good fruit, lots of dark cherry come through usually. So let's do our first one. Looking forward to it. Classic Brunello nose, going with that, that kind of Asian spice, almost a hint of Tabasco sauce coming through on the nose for me. Again, dark, sour cherries. A cedar aspect, a little dark licorice coming through on the core and the mid of the nose. Great acidity, nice tannin, really lush, dark cherry flavors coming through, dark chocolate. Il Pogione's bringing the thunder. I like this wine. It's got some nice complexity, little bell pepper around the edges, even a little hint of vanilla extract coming through on the finish. I like the wine. Again, really high acidity, much higher than most red wines of this cloth and caliber. So that's always a characteristic, making it a very good food wine. This is kind of walking the line of being New World and Old World. It's got a lot of cocoa flavors. I like this wine. We're going to score this wine 92 plus. Real good effort from Il Pogione. I would think that this wine would last for a good 10 to 15 years, no problem. Let's move on. This is the Laticina Il Devasio 2001 Brunello, and this one is scored 96 points by the Wine Spectator, and is $63 US. So, again, Brunello is really, really something a lot of people like to talk about. Even this weekend, when I was talking to some people, Brunello got brought up. We can talk about the color on this one is darker, considerably darker. Actually, just darker than the Il Pogione. Nice color. Now, we also have the Ribolla cheese, which we love, which is a triple cream, milk, sheeps, and cow. We're going to taste that along because that's a great pairing. It's $13.99 for a circle of that, and so a lot of people should definitely seek that out. I know Whole Foods and Wegmans and all the great stores out there carry this. It's a great, great cheese. So we're going to pair that a little bit later, so I know we like to do the food and wine thing. Acidity coming on very hot, 96-point Spectator. We're getting about 100 emails a day looking for this wine after the score, so I'm excited about trying this. This is very floral. I'm getting a lot of lilacs. I'm getting a lot of roses, rose petal. Getting a lot of floral aspects through this nose. Little chocolate bar, milk chocolate coming through as well. And heavy on the vanilla. It really smells like a Starbucks inside here. Like you just walked into a beautiful Starbucks in the middle of Milan, because those things are popping up everywhere. I mean, have you been around the world? It's unbelievable. Starbucks is everywhere. Inside the pyramids. Make a left, Starbucks. Crazy. Very extracted on the nose. Massive, massive wine. Absolutely explodes in your mouth. Huge, rich mouthfeel. Blackberry covering your entire palate. I mean, like a jam bomb exploded in your mouth, and you're happy about it. I mean, this is a nice wine. Very, very structured too. A lot of complexity. I'm impressed with this wine. This is serious juice, and it's really showing nicely. It still has that nice acidity coming through. Great complexity on the finish. Long finish. And has the backbone and structure, mouthfeel, and overall charismatic aspect to it that makes me think this wine will last for a good 15, 20 years on top of the way it's drinking now. I'm going to score this wine 94 points. It's an extremely good effort and a very good bottle of wine. Wow, it's really nice. Really nice. Let's move on. This is the Pinino Brunello 2001. And this one is 95 points Wine Spectator and $60. Only 850 cases made of this wine. On the Acidity, back to this real quick, only 200 cases made of that cuvee. I've been dying to do a Brunello episode, so this is a lot of fun. I felt like I'd treat myself after being away for a little while. So, Pinino, this is a really hot wine for us, Vittorio Pinino. It's 95 points, $59.99, so obviously a lot of people are jumping on that. Again, really nice color. Really dark colors. I mean, all these wines are showing tremendous color. This has a bit of a meaty nose. Reminds me of great, freshly cut Italian meats. Prosciutto coming through on the nose a little bit. Very, very aromatic. Also coming through with a lot of a big flower pot. Actually, great term, flower pot. I'm going to start using that because I'm getting a lot of lilac and, which I like to use because I really know how that smells. But a lot of fresh cut flowers, but still the soil underneath. So you're getting some of the dirt aspects. So I'm gonna, yeah, you like that, right? Flower pot. So this is flower pot, and that's nice. It's also got a very distinct black, real licorice flavor. The stuff you get in Europe. Unfortunately, not here as much. Nice nose. Got a lot going on. Very charismatic. Also coming through a little bit with a eucalyptus on the nose. And like that black licorice, eucalyptus, minty kind of thing going on that I'm sure you can understand. Wow. See, I like this. Even, the Acidity, which I scored 94 points, is great. But definitely a new world Brunello, even though it's an old world type of wine. This is just pure elegance and class. Like, just like just like, some of those people you meet, especially lovely ladies in their 50s or 60s, you're just polished, classy. That's what this makes me think of. This wine would go with so many different foods. The symmetry and the, just from the beginning first taste to the final taste in your palate, which by the way is still coming on for me with really obvious sour black cherries and a hint of black raspberry, which is a new flavor profile to my palate, is just perfect. Like a well-written play or a movie or a musical. That's just what comes to mind as I drink this. And honestly, wine is the experience. And when a wine like this not only gives you tremendous flavor, but invokes thoughts of, classic works of art, you got a pretty cool situation going. And that's what this wine's doing. As a matter of fact, I'm going to use this wine as the food pairing because I think that will go great. Now, me, I'm getting right in there with the finger. This is where it's at. This is a very creamy cheese. Sheep's, cows, and goat milk, 3 milks, just unbelievable stuff. I go crazy for this. This is from Piedmont, which is obviously, we could have done a Tuscan cheese, but this is really what I've had this pairing, and I've loved this pairing, with the cheese and the Brunellos. So I've got the official knife and everything, but sometimes the finger just feels right. You know what I mean? Come on, I'm in a good mood. I just got back to home. This cheese is incredible. If you've never had it, and again, I'll give you the label again. Hopefully you'll be able to find it. And if you're in the Dirty Jersey, stop by. I'll show you where it is. It's unbelievable. It is so creamy, so complex. I'll tell you exactly what it tastes like, which might not sound that exotic. It reminds me of Campbell's mushroom soup, even though I couldn't say it. Campbell's mushroom soup. It's got a very truffle, mushroomy flavor, very creamy, very complex. Pretty darn ridiculous, actually. I gotta get a bigger piece going here. Great, white, great color, gooey. What can be better than that? Unbelievable. Now let's go back to the wine and see how it's affected it. As you know, most of the cheese and wine pairings we've done in this show, I've actually not liked the combo that's happened. I like them separate. This is obnoxiously ridiculous. I'm pounding this wine for me. As you guys know, I spit everything. This is absolutely incredible. The cheese brought out so many more vibrant fruit flavors. Eric, is this the second glass on Wine Library TV? Unbelievable bottle of wine. This is exactly how I dream up a perfect Brunello. Completely complex. I'm going to tell you right now, Spectator underscored this wine at 95 points. I'm going to have to go 96 plus. And I was even considering 97, but I'll just reserve that. But, this is how I want my Brunello to be. It's perfect. It's old school, but it's got tremendous flavor. Dry cherries, tons of complexity, 13.5 alcohol, unlike the 14.5 from the La Racina. It's got, the romance and character and credibility of a great Bordeaux, but the flavor profile that just explodes like a firecracker in your mouth. And that's probably what's inducing me to love this wine more than anything, is the explosion of the fruit that's coming through. It doesn't have to be huge fruit, but the intensity of the flavor that this wine offers is something that I absolutely adore. Wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let's move on. This is going to be a tough act to follow, but this is a big-time wine. This is the Sesta di Stopora 2001 Brunello, 95 points Wine Spectator, $90 US, only 330 cases made. These are wines, as you can tell, that we're tasting today that are just not out there. Let me give it a whirl. This has been a lot of fun. That was awesome. Wow. Okay. Let's clear our mind and give Sesta a fair shake. Coming through with a classic nose, probably the most intense nose of the 4 wines. Real explosion, again, of cedar, old bark wood, there's a coolness to this wine. Minty fresh kind of aspect coming to the wine, almost like bubble gum. I'm getting a little Wrigley's Spearmint Gum on the nose. Here we go. We're gonna have all the conspiracy theorists jumping out after this one. Let me preface my statements by saying I often taste 20, 30, 40, 50 wines at a time. These are my first 4 wines of the day. This is no problem. My palate is far from fatigued. The Pinot is not affecting my judgment of this wine at all. This wine is an average Brunello. It's not bad. It actually had a great nose and good mouthfeel, but it's a little thin on the mid-palate, and the flavors are very basic. Sour cherry, little pepper, little cedar, tiny hint of vanilla, but even the vanilla is not like the creamy, fresh vanilla. It's almost like an extract. I'm just not feeling this wine, and I really, really can tell you, I promise that it has no impact because I know I went nuts on the last wine. But again, just not enough wines. Plus I had the cheese. Palate's fine. It's nice. It's just standard. 95 points is way too high, and $90 is scarily overpriced in my opinion. I would score this wine 89 points. It's a nice bottle of wine. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's far from the winner. So, to make it easy, this is how they line up for me. 89. I think we went 92 here, 94 here, and you know what? 97. You got to do it right. 97 points in this one, and it's the cheapest one of the bunch, and that's kind of cool, and that's kind of what's scary and interesting and fun about wine. The Bonino really rocked it out. La Decina's great as well, especially if you like a New World Brunello. There's some people that would score this 96, 97 points, no doubt in my mind. Question of the day. Very simply, what is your favorite Brunello that you've ever had? I'd love to hear from you guys, vintage and producer, because you, with a little bit of me and a little bit of cheese, we're changing the wine world, aren't we?
Hello everybody, welcome to Wine Library TV. I'm your host, Sierra Brown. Today I am very excited because I am tasting 2001 Crystal Light Vineyard Raspberry Ice. I'm very excited. The color reminds me of red, pink, and violet in a war. Very caramelized too. Looks nice. Now let's swirl and smell. No, I know exactly what is in this glass. It is raspberries, rocks, and wormheads all mixed up. Smells very nice. Now, let's taste. Very sour and very sour on the mid palate. I don't really like this Crystal Light. I give it a 79, which is a Paz with 3 Z's. Thank you everybody for watching my show. And just remember, a little bit of me and lots of you. We're changing the wine world, aren't we?